have you ever dreamed of creating something truly grand and unique in your Minecraft world or on a server? Maybe a gigantic castle, a beautiful village, or even an entire city. These are all great ideas, but what I'm about to show you goes beyond ordinary builds. This is a project that so far took over 250,000 blocks, and this is still just the beginning. A project that is the most ambitious one I've ever built in this game. This is not all. In this video, I will also show you how to create a pale oak farm, a new beautiful block that was added to the game recently. I will also share the secret of how I easily earn diamonds on the server without having my own shop, and tell you the story about the threat looming over my elven kingdom. So get comfortable, because we are just getting started. For the past 7 months, I've been slowly working on my base. Let me give you a quick rundown of everything I've built here so far. I spent an entire month terraforming the land, making it smoother and more suitable for the massive forest I had in my mind. Then I set up a tree farm along with a mob farm. It's an essential part of the project that makes it much easier to gather building materials. But the real centerpiece of this whole project is the Great Mother Tree. This colossal tree stands as the heart of the forest, with its roots spreading far and wide, symbolically nourishing the trees around it. Constructing it was a massive undertaking, requiring tons of resources and patience. While working on that, I also built a stunning new location hidden in the mountains, the Elven Forge. It's a mystical, beautifully designed blacksmith area, adding even more life and depth to this world. To tie everything together, I built a road and a bridge leading back to my base, making the whole area feel more connected and immersive. All in all, this project has taken a huge amount of time and effort, but compared to other players' mega projects on our server, it felt kinda unfinished and empty. I was always distracted by creating farms, finishing other projects around the server, and fighting with other players who always want to burn my elven forest down. But all this time, I was secretly planning my build in creative. I was gathering references for my build, creating samples of trees and other greenery, and collected resources on the server. My first major challenge is to build enormous trees that would form the foundation of the entire project. These trees would surround the mother tree at the heart of my elven kingdom. To build them, I used stripped birch logs and birch leaves. Each tree took at least 3 hours to complete. Gathering all that birch foliage with a netherite hoe was a grind. On top of that, I used a custom resource pack to change the color of the leaves to gold, giving my forest a mystical aura that only pure-blood elves can see. To outsiders, the leaves appear green. Each tree is unique in shape and height. To speed up the process, I used the Axiom mod, allowing me to quickly edit and create variations with simple commands. I really appreciate the person who came up with the idea to create Axiom. Otherwise, I would have to plan each tree one by one. After 2 days of non-stop work, I had completed the first layer of the forest. 6 massive trees, each containing around 20,000 blocks. This is much smaller than the main tree, as for its construction, for example, I spent as much as 100,000 blocks. Oh my god, just look at this! For your information, each of these trees takes about 3 hours to build. Of course, there is still a lot of work ahead, but honestly, I need a break. But the real grind was just beginning. I decided to make a small break from building, and it's time to tell you about my genius way of earning diamonds. Recently I got 32 diamond blocks. It's all because I have the coolest tree farm on the server, and I supply resources from it to other players' shops. Thanks to me, players can buy wood on the server for fairly low price. Of course, the shop take a percentage of my sales, but the demand from buyers is so high that I'm literally swimming in diamonds even without having my own shop. Plus, it's eco-friendly. Players don't have to chop down forests on our limited island, and they simply can buy ready-made blocks in the shop. Just as I was making progress, the server updated to version 1.21.4, introducing a brand new type of wood, pale oak. You see, on our SMP we live on the limited island, which is surrounded by deadly zone. There is no escape from here, because you will be instantly killed by a deadly monster. So of course we cannot reach new territories with new biome. I don't have any saplings, but I know someone who does. Oh, there you are. Fortunately, a fellow player managed to get a pale oak sapling from Wandering Trader, giving us access to this otherwise unavailable resource. I immediately set up a pale oak farm producing 17,500 blocks per hour. This also allowed me to farm dark oak, which my original wood farm couldn't handle. Actually, I've dreamed for a long time that Mojang would add white wood to the game. Honestly, I would also use it in the construction of the main tree. I really couldn't wait to experiment with this new block and immediately went to creative mode. After trying to build different tree combinations, I found the perfect mix: azalea leaves with stripped pale oak. I think it looks quite nice, what do you think? Fortunately, collecting azalea leaves was quite easy and I had plenty of pale oak, so transferring the trees to the server didn't take too much time. My main goal is to create a beautiful, diverse and enchanted forest. And to make the forest feel more alive, I needed to make more variations of trees. But after a short break, I logged onto the server and was met with an unpleasant surprise. Right next to my sacred forest, I noticed a massive highway. Who could have dared to do such a thing? My first suspect was one player who builds roads all over the server, but after a short conversation it became clear that another player named DMK was involved. We've always had a tense relationship. First, he wanted to build a railway through my magical forest and I had to stop him. We've also clashed in battle more than once over various small matters. In general, this guy is constantly turning other players against me. And yet, despite all of that, DMK still decided to build his road next to my forest, knowing full well that I wouldn't like it. Trying to talk to him didn't go well. I suggested that we relocate his road together, but he flat out refused. Clearly, I won't let this slide, and one day he will taste the anger of the elves. But revenge is best served cold, so for now I decided to return to building my base. I started adding medium-sized trees to fill the empty space between the taller ones, making the landscape feel more natural. While still time-consuming, these were much quicker to build. After placing several of these trees, the forest began to feel more complete. But now I had a new problem. A dense forest means darkness, and darkness means hostile mobs. But an elven forest shouldn't be overrun by monsters. The solution came up quickly. We will use invisible light sources, which are a great tool for builders. Crafting them required a lot of invisibility potions, but the effort was worth it. Now my enchanted woods are safe and beautifully illuminated without visible torches or lanterns. Next, I laid out pathways between the trees using a mix of diorite, polished diorite and pale oak planks. The goal was to create a magical, inviting atmosphere. However, integrating them naturally into the terrain was tricky, especially on slopes. After hours of work, I achieved a look that nicely blended with the environment. But a thriving elven kingdom also needs a protection. That's why I decided to build a fortified fence around the central area of the forest. The wall consists of oak and spruce logs with a reinforced mud brick foundation. To enhance the defense, I added sharp spikes on the exterior to scare unwanted visitors, and fencing along the top for an aggressive battle-ready appearance. This took quite a long time, but now my base is not only visually stunning but also well defended. And my wonderful elk won't be able to get lost somewhere around the server. After all this work, I wanted to build something more aesthetic. A small summer house nestled among the trees, offering a peaceful place to relax and take in the beauty of the forest. Of course, I used the pale oak again. It's just too good of a block to ignore. For contrast, I selected dark prismarine for the roof, making the structure stand out against the white wood. In the future, I plan to add even more details, statues, ancient ruins, and mystical relics to enhance the forest's magical atmosphere. And there is still a lot to do. For example, expanding the forest with more tree types, bushes and mushrooms, adding rare plants and magical artifacts, creating hidden locations and secrets to explore. But that's all for next episode. I've already spent over 30 hours on this project, and if I don't stop right now, I might just turn from the elf to orc myself. If you have ideas for what I should add to my elven kingdom, let me know in the comments. The best suggestions might make it into the next video. Don't forget to follow me if you enjoyed watching. And so it ends for now.